Hello, family. Welcome to Gem Talks. This is Marcel, aka Gem, and thank you for taking the time to check out my podcast. Gem Talks is all about taking everyday life issues and challenges and just looking at it from a more empowering and motivating way. So stick around, guys. Keep checking in, and let's keep talking about it. Hello, family, and welcome back to another episode of Gem Talks. We are just going to be doing a part 2, a follow-up to our last episode. I am here with my beautiful guest, Miss Rashima, and we're going to further talk about some of the traumas she experienced in the process of what she went through with her husband taking his life. And we just wanted to talk about what it looks like to have support around you. What is it, a person that is going through that situation, what they need, but also the things that they do not need, the things that are not beneficial. And I know for her, while she was walking through this process, she had to go through some negativity that was so unnecessary. Negativity that people that was close to her family members per se, she had to go through. And so she wanted to just talk a little bit about that. Just some of the things that is really not necessary at that time, because in that time of grief, those are things that people should not have to deal with. So what are some of the things that you would like to share? Some of your experiences that you had during that process?
Well, everyone who knew my husband knew that my husband, he took very good care of me. And they knew that I was just at the top of whatever, with my husband. So I learned during the time that when he passed away, I learned through the grapevine that people actually thought that my husband left me with $1 million policy.
Wow.
$1 million policy. So it took me by surprise. I'm like, $1 million.
Like, where my $1 million?
And I'm like, not really where my $1 million, where my $1 million were. I actually just started locking my doors and closing my curtains, and I'm hiding now, because people get crazy when it comes down to to money, know. So I actually I became afraid,
Why?
because $1 million and you got people around here around you, they're not saying anything, they're just waiting, they're just waiting. And I'm thinking like, no. So I didn't feel safe, because like I said, my husband, he just kept the mess away from me, Okay. So he was my protector. So when that came out, I'm like, oh my goodness. So then you have some people who are now calling you, wanting you to invest in these quick money schemes or whatever because they think you have money.
Oh, wow.
And I have a funny story. So when I learned that the people were saying that I had $1 million, I was so scared. Like, someone have $1 million and, that's just unheard of, like. So I guess God was looking out for me. He really was. So I had not filed a claim, for funeral expenses at this time. Maybe about 2 months had gone by that my husband had passed away. I paid for all the arrangements out of pocket. So I received a check in the mail from my insurance carrier, and it was like $123. And I know it was something from like a hospital indemnity, that policy that we had. And I guess what was left or whatever after the policy, after my husband passed away, this check came in the mail, and I'm like, me with my thinking, I'm going to get these people off of me. I'm going to get these people off of me. So I'm, like I said, I'm already getting these calls. Hey, you want to invest in this? Or, hey, I need this and I need that. And I'm thinking, yeah, let me get these people off of me. So I took a picture of the check. I took a picture of the check.
Well, how much is it?
$123.
Okay.
I took a picture of the check. And I remember in my mind, because I'm a little petty. I'm a little petty. So I took a picture of the check and I sent it to the loudest person in the family. Not my family, but my husband's family. I sent it to the loudest person. And that word got around. He didn't leave her nothing, you know? Yeah, because I have to get these people off of me. So it's so unfortunate that you're going through, grief, and the only thing that's on people's minds is money. They want what they want. They take advantage of your vulnerability, the situation, and that is one thing that that was the biggest thing. I can handle myself sometimes, So, I had to get these people off of me because I don't want no one to hurt me, thinking that they're going to get something out of me. You just have to know who's who when you're going through these situations, kind of weed out
the bad apples.
The bad, and I had some people that I remember riding away from the church the day of my husband's funeral. And I remember riding away and said, I'm so thankful to God that I don't have to deal with these people anymore. Because my husband and I, we were inseparable. We worked together. We cooked together. We did everything together. And if you didn't see me with my husband, you know I was going to be there. Eventually I'm going to show up. And the same thing with him. He's going to show up for each other. But they tried to bring about, negativity, throwing things out there like I killed my husband, or I caused my husband's death, That was hard to hear.
Imagine.
That was really hard to hear, because these people, they knew me, they knew me and my husband. They probably I don't know. They knew that I love my husband and my husband loved me. When my husband, I couldn't even remember my name with my husband because it was my wife this and my wife that,
Yes.
That's my wife,
Yes,
So,
yes.
I mean, the love that my husband had for me, I just felt like, there were some people that was envious of our relationship,
That's always going to be
So
a thing.
it was rough because these people knew me, they knew me, and just me, letting everyone know what happened with my husband, and people started showing up at the hospital. My husband was in the hospital for 3 days. I knew that eventually I was going to have to make a decision, and I made that decision based off of a conversation that my husband and I had in private. And when it came to the point of me having to say, my husband is not going to live on life support. I had people who hated me for that, but if you knew my husband, and you knew my husband was not going to want to lay
Nope.
in a bed and he can't function at his full potential. So I had to make that call. So then I, had to deal with negativity from that. The money, me being accused of killing my husband, that was the worst that someone could ever say.
And that just make, you're already going through this huge trauma.
Yes.
And that just make it even doubly worse.
Yes.
For the people around you. Instead of getting the support that you need, you have to be defending yourself.
You have to.
Wow.
I remember during the time that he was in the hospital, and my husband shot himself in the head. And he shot himself in with I think it was a 38 revolver. And not to be so graphic, but to look at my husband, I didn't want people to have that last image of him embedded in their head, because I am, to this day, I still hear that gunshot. So I knew what the image would do if people are just sitting there just looking at my husband. So after about a day of him being in the hospital, I think you were there, that I decided that I was not going to let anyone else go into the room to see my husband.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have wanted that. I mean, I remember him saying that if I had cancer and, I lost weight or whatever, I don't want people to look at me. So
yeah,
he wouldn't have wanted people to see him like that.
So what do you have to tell the people that how to support someone that is going through this process? How should they show up for these people?
If you're not going to show up with some positive energy, stay away. I really don't think that a person can tell you anything. There's nothing that a person can say to you that's going to make you feel better about the situation that you're going through. So, I mean, just if you could just be there, be there with some positive energy, because it's no time for being negative. The drama, there's no room for drama. None whatsoever. So if you can be there for someone, be there. Be there with a whole heart and with some goodness, because that is not a time to bring about drama, because, you're already going through so many emotions. You're dealing with the grief. Me, I'm dealing with guilt, I'm telling you, I grew a great amount of fear, fear of being without my husband. So, yeah, if you can't be there with, some goodness in your heart, stay away.
Stay away, y'all.
Stay away.
Keep the drama away.
Yeah.
That's basically what we're saying.
Yeah.
For a person that's going through grief, they don't need any additional grief.
Right.
They don't need you adding to the situation. They need you to show up and sometimes just say, I'm here. I'm here for whatever it is you need. I am here. That's all they need to know, that they have people in their corner. So if you cannot come and be there with a positive heart, good energy, don't come.
That's it. Yeah.
Don't come.
You can't change the situation. You cannot change the situation, but you can, just be there and be there, just
Just
be
be
there.
there.
Just be there, because there's nothing that you can say to make the situation better.
Absolutely.
There's nothing that you can do. Well, you can do by being there, but there's really nothing. People say, "Oh, he's in a better place." No, he's not. His better place was with me. You know, you can't tell a person. I mean, you just can't just come with just anything, because like I said, when I was going through, I wanted to talk to people that was going through the same thing that I was going through. So I know there was nothing that anyone could say to me that was going to make me feel better about my situation.
That's fair.
There's nothing.
That's fair. That's fair.
Nothing.
And when people are dealing with that situation, the family members, the friends, oftentimes it's an awkward situation. We don't know what to say.
Right.
We don't have the answer.
And if
we
you
are
don't-
feeling awkward.
If you don't have
We
the
feel-
answer, just be there.
just be there.
Just be there, because like I said, there's nothing that you can say.
Okay.
But your presence is everything.
Okay.
Your presence is everything. Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to be around my sisters, and my oldest sister, like I said, I bought an air mattress, and I put that air mattress in the center of my living room. And my sister went out and bought her an air mattress.
And she put it next to-
put her air mattress right next to mine.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
That is sweet.
I mean,
that is sweet. That's support.
and she stayed day and night with me. And when it was time to go to bed, there's her air mattress and there's mine.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, she stayed with me. She went out and bought an air mattress and parked it right next to mine. So
That is a support.
yeah, that's the type of support that you need. I mean, she didn't want anything. She just wanted to be there.
there.
Just wanted
be
to be
there.
there.
Just be there. So you guys, you hear it. Just be there. Sometimes you don't know what to say. It's not about what you say. It's not about the person wanting anything financial or physical. They just need to know that you are there, that you care. That is all they need. Leave the negative energy. They don't need it. Be kind.
Yeah.
Be gracious. All right. So this is just for some of you who have, maybe you're watching and you've been one of the extras.
Nobody wants your drama. Nobody wants it.
All right. So guys, as you can hear her heart, we just wanted to share with you what it's like dealing with this trauma and the negative things that is not necessary. So guys, until next time, let's just keep talking about it.